Welcome back. I'm Black. He's Red. This is Black and Red's official Tomorrowland movie review. I seen it. You seen it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Give it a rating. Who's in it?
Oh, you want who's in it, or do you want a rating first?
Tell me who's in it.
Okay. Star George Clooney, everyone's favorite American treasure.
Yeah, he's voted maybe the sexiest man
Looking
like
good.
twice.
I mean, the hair's still looking good. It's also starring Hugh Laurie. Is in it. Dr. House, MD.
Yeah.
Fox. He's in it. There's the main girl. Don't know her name. Her name's Casey Newton in the movie.
but that's all we know.
I want to say her name, maybe Britt something. Anyways, she's playing a high school student. She's got to be 25 years old. So it's another classic case of a 25-year-old playing a high school student. But we'll look past that. And I know there's a little girl who's a big star in it. She's not famous as far as I know.
Yeah.
But she's good. She's good in it. But down to a rating. I mean, that's really well. And then her dad, Casey Newton's dad is Tim McGraw.
Okay.
He's in it. Outside that, there's some cameos, but there's not any other. I think that's probably most of the screen time right there.
Yeah.
Those characters. I'll give it a rating now. It's a pretty good movie. I mean, considering the fact it's a Disney movie, it's PG. It's for, mostly gonna be based towards children.
Yeah.
Disney, family oriented. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Keeping that in mind. It's not gonna be as it's kind of a detailed, kind of higher level plot, real thinker, because it is going to be based more toward kids. So the plot leaves a little bit to be desired. If you really think about it, it's not. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But the action is pretty good, and it's futuristic, and graphics were good. The Athena, the little girl, she's really entertaining in it. I liked her a lot. George Clooney's fine in it. The main girl, Casey, I didn't really particularly care for her, but she wasn't awful. Hugh Laurie didn't bring a lot to the table. He was alright, but I didn't really care for him as much either. He wasn't as witty as he was on like House and other things. So I wasn't too in love with him. But then again, I mean, it's a kids movie, so you can't be as mean as you might otherwise be. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid movie. I'd definitely say 7 out of 10. It's a Disney movie. It's not. I wouldn't say it really steps out of what you'd expect to see from a Disney movie. But what'd you think about it?
6.5 out of 10. I probably lean more towards a 7, but.
Give it a 7 then. It's like you get pressured to give your scores in these reviews. Someone's pressuring you.
Yeah.
AMC.
You
get bump scores down, up and down. Your sponsor.
I've been too high on the scores. I gotta start averaging them out.
Wow.
That's right.
That's not necessarily a good reason to be doing it.
Nah, but this one is definitely a 6.5.
Okay.
The action, the sound effects. Is nice.
Sound effects?
I'm telling you, it was. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, maybe the AMC. That's their first.
Maybe the AMC quality.
Your first comment is the sound effects are good.
The action is good, but the sound effects.
It's the next level.
It was, man.
All right.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't really all that. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
All that.
It wasn't all that long. It seemed like.
No, they don't make long movies anymore.
But it was 2 hours and 10 minutes though.
We've seen what, like 15 movies this year already? And I don't feel like we've seen one over 2.5 hours.
No, but this one was 2 hours and 10 minutes. I didn't feel like it was over 2 hours.
Well, it's only 10 minutes longer. I mean,
but it just seemed like a lot shorter.
They get through a lot. They get through a lot of plot in this movie in a short period of time.
I enjoyed it. I definitely think it's for the teens between like, I don't know, 13 and
younger than that even.
They really enjoy it. I mean, it's definitely a futuristic movie for kids to inspire them to be.
No, they had a good message at the end.
Yeah. So, other than that, what's the plot line? What are they trying to achieve in this movie?
Oh, you want to spoil it?
You haven't told them what the movie's about yet.
No. Well, okay. You'll probably give a better spoiler-free synopsis than I would.
Well, what I got out of it basically is that Tomorrowland is a place where the brightest of humanity gets selected to go to, and
Dreamers
is what they call
Creative
them, or
people.
believers, and they get tapped in by what's that robot's name? That's short.
Stop talking about robots. Maybe don't spoil the movie.
Yeah. They get tapped into
They get recruited into George Tomorrowland
by
because
a pin. So
yeah, they have people that recruit them, and there's a pin that lets you access the Tomorrowland. And basically they created it because they didn't want to be constrained by making money and creating war and things like that. It's just so people could be free to create things.
So genius
to create, not to profit or just create things for that reason. Just be whatever creativity came to mind. So what's this, like 1960?
1960s when
it's like when we get introduced to it. So we don't. I don't know if they necessarily say. It seemed like it's already been in place for a while. And so some point before the 1960s, they created this Tomorrowland. The main girl though, she gets recruited to go, but this is now the future.
Yeah,
but 1960s, George Clooney is involved. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the high-level synopsis. We learn a little bit about the past because George Clooney was there as a kid, but then we go to the future, and it's basically about getting there to then cure. There's a huge problem in Tomorrowland. They need to fix it. I mean, that's pretty much without spoiling anything, without giving anything away.
That's basically it. You got two geniuses trying to go back and fix.
I don't know if they're necessarily geniuses. They're just really true. They're
not
like engineers. George Clooney created a jetpack. I don't know if
I
necessarily give him a genius status for creating a jetpack. He created a jetpack and he didn't. It wasn't working.
Okay,
let's be honest. It wasn't working.
We'll get to that part.
Did he not create a jetpack that wasn't working? That's the beginning of the movie.
Geniuses. We'll get to that part. Straight hate, man. Spoil the movie, and then I'll let you know why this guy's a genius. Like, okay.
No, feel free. Go tell me right now why he's a genius.
The guy creates basically a machine where you could see the past, see the future.
Oh well, yeah. Oh, sorry. I was talking about he's a little kid. I got hung up on the jetpack, but he couldn't.
The jetpack that he tried to make when he was 8 years old.
The robot had to fix it, then it worked. I agreed.
Not a
I was just thinking when he was little. Yeah, no, he is. My bad. But the girl, I'm not. So the girl, you have to.
The girl may not be a genius. She may just be a good analyst. But that's
analyst. She analyzed. She was a dreamer. She was basically wanting to go like the moon, NASA.
Yeah. So
that was kind of her.
So go ahead, spoil the movie from George Clooney being tapped in as a child to this.
I'll go quick. I think I can do this pretty quick.
Go ahead.
So George Clooney's. The movie starts. You get flashbacks. George Clooney's a kid. He meets a young girl named Athena.
That's the
little girl. She recruited him into Tomorrowland at the time. He goes in. Then we go forward in time. Now we get the new girl. She's trying to prevent Cape Canaveral from getting torn down. Here's her dad, Tim McGraw, is a NASA scientist or engineer, and so maybe a rocket engineer. I don't know.
He's a rocket scientist.
Something like that. But he, so she wants them to stop, tearing it down. So she's kind of doing some illegal activities, trying to slow down the debuild. And then she gets a pin from Athena. And so first you're trying to figure out, well, what's up with the little girl? I wasn't sure if maybe they invented some thing to make them live forever. Or not grow. Machine. Or a time machine, that was another thought. But then ended up being she's a robot.
Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, you tried to spoil that earlier. You're getting real too aggressive. But she's really funny in the movie. I mean, she's probably the best character in the movie. She's hilarious. She fights people. She has some pretty good action scenes.
She did. She had two action.
She fights a couple people. Was it Key or Peele?
For what?
When she fights two robots that try to get the girl, and one of them. Key? Peele?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It's like someone known comedian.
Yeah, he's funny though.
They're a good cameo. So then they get together, and they end up going to George Clooney. George Clooney's living by himself, trying to. He's been kicked out of Tomorrowland, we find out, and he's kind of just downtrodden. He doesn't really want to be part of anything, so they have to kind of convince him to go. But there's robots chasing Athena and Casey Newton, and they come and just mess up George Clooney's house. They have a pretty good action scene there.
Yeah.
And they end up having to go back to Tomorrowland, which they're not supposed to be able to get into because there's supposedly all the entrances are supposed to be closed right now. It's closed off, but they get their way back in. Find Hugh Laurie. Enter Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie was in the beginning in the movie. In the 60s, he was the same age, so he, it's like, well, like, they don't really say it, but you have to assume he's a robot. I mean, so he's running things as a robot in Tomorrowland, and they try to stop. They're trying to stop him from letting the world die or whatever in 60 days, because explain this to me. So they have the big machine is giving off negative messages, and that's causing people to be negative. Because Hugh Laurie's point was that people were just they were just bad and evil, and they're going to ruin the world. And then George Clooney, they come up with, no, it's actually the big machine that's causing that. So they want to destroy the machine, but Hugh Laurie's like, no, don't do that. So they have to kind of get in a fight scene. It's a lot of action movie for a PG. It's kind of dark.
Yeah, a little dark.
It's a little dark for PG.
Action is very entertaining for PG.
I mean, the plot though. Oof.
It's a kid movie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They have a pretty advanced, action, and it's pretty dark for them to have a plot that's kind of. The plot's even dark because the machine is. It's going to be the end of the days, the end of the world.
But I mean, I didn't really see it to where like the machine was. When he was explaining, it was more like he was trying to help them save the world by giving the dark images of what this is what's going to happen if you don't.
Yeah,
do
no,
something.
that was his angle, but it wasn't what was happening.
Humans.
But I didn't really buy the whole end of days anyway. It's like because they showed her house would be underwater. It's like that doesn't mean people are dead.
Yeah.
That just means she lived in Florida.
Got flooded.
And that's going to happen at some point. So I mean, let's not pretend that's going to be the end of days.
Well,
when Florida gets flooded. Miami, sorry.
Movie. You gotta make it to where like the adults are entertained. You also gotta make it to where the kids
Sure, I get it. And then it ends. It has a good ending though. They destroy the machine and they start recruiting again. There's a new batch of. Well, Athena gets killed. They have to use her as a bomb to blow up the thing. So, but she was sad to see her go because she was the star of the movie. But they have at the end they have a bunch more kid robots going out to recruit their creative people, the dreamers. So it's a kind of good ending at the movie. The movie it ends pretty nice. That they basically kind of encourage people to be creative, be different. Yeah. So I'm not upset with the angle. It's just the plot.
The plot's not for you.
When you get to Tomorrowland, it's just like, well, it's very unclear why Hugh Laurie's. He's like, doesn't seem to be a lot of other people there, and he's a robot. Why does he have so much power? I mean, there's a lot of questions there, but yeah, it's just kids movie, like I said. So you don't get hung up on it. Just keep pushing. It was more like the adventure getting there. Yeah, it was fun. When they got there, I was like, but it's not enough to get hung up on.
No, but overall, it's a good movie. The kids would like it. But I didn't really understand the ratings of the genius that they recruited. They had Casey rated as the top genius that they got, and it had George Clooney.
Well, he was 11 though at the time.
Yeah, I understand that.
She was 17 or 18.
Yeah, I understand that. But what has she created?
No, it was like a test. It wasn't like a lifetime achievement.
No, I understand that.
Otherwise, the jetpack wouldn't have got him in. His jetpack did not work.
Now I'm kind of trying to understand like what is on this test to like.
Oh sure.
She didn't
get that at all.
She hasn't created nothing. She just solved no problems.
She just causes a little bit of mayhem at a Cape Canaveral site to prevent them from destroying the launch site. That's pretty much all we've seen her do.
Because I think she was just very optimistic about things. Is why.
No, optimism was another thing too. It was optimism and creativism, being creative, and a dreamer. I guess they all go together. So she was very high on the dreamer list.
Yeah, that's what
she was next level dreamer, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Don't get hung up on the scoring system.
I like George Clooney though. I like them in this movie. I like them.
Well, George Clooney's always good. I don't think I've ever been upset with George. He's a national treasure.
That's all I got. Would you had a favorite scene?
No, I mean I liked when Athena would fight people. When Athena would fight other robots was always a highlight because she's a little girl, and then she's just handing out whoopings,
taking off heads.
That's fun. Probably when she pretended to be asleep.
Yeah.
She pretends to be asleep when her and Casey are driving.
Shut the hell up.
And then later, George Clooney, Casey says, "Oh, you're asking her too many questions." That's she asked her too many questions. She shut down. And he's like, "What? What do you see talking about shut down?" She said, "She was really annoying me." So that's not funny because she's a robot at that point. So it's kind of like funny they're robots. It's just kind of trashing out on their AI. Trashing out the smart.
So was everything in Tomorrowland AIs?
That's a fair question too. Well, we know not at the end because George Clooney and Casey Newton were there at the end.
Yeah, now.
But I don't know
But
before.
when George Clooney got recruited, it was all AIs. It's all AIs.
Not necessarily.
Who was there was human?
Well, the people they're recruiting. People built the robots. That's the whole part of problem. It wasn't built by a robot. It's a real person has to build a robot.
I understand that, but it's like when the
They had flying cars in 1960. People were creating robots. Everything was moving forward. But no, I mean, I don't. The robot, I mean, definitely a good robot. She was a good robot. It's a good, different little twist to have a little kid robot that fights. But then again, I don't know why. It's like always. She was British, and Hugh Laurie's British. It's like, why is everyone got to be British in America?
They have the best actors. I don't know what to tell you, man.
It just doesn't make any sense. This is like, it seems aggressive.
Americans love.
Why would you make British robots if you're American?
American people have a big fetish with British. It's just,
I like the idea of British accent, I guess.
I don't.
Like people do, I guess. But I mean,
bollocks. It's annoying.
Bollocks.
But
get some crisps.
Well, yeah. If you got like, I don't know, if you're.
You got anything else to say about it?
No, if you're.
I mean, it's solid 7. Especially if you like Disney, you'll like it. It's fine.
You gotta get to Tomorrowland through Disneyland to begin with. That was the entrance to Tomorrowland, was the World Disney.
That was the beginning, though.
Yeah.
But not how the girl got him.
Yeah.
That's George Clooney. But, yep. As
That's
always,
all I got.
Tell us what you think below and subscribe to the channel.
AMC it.